This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from constructionleadingedge.com. It's the podcast for small construction business owners. My name is Todd DeWalt, and my job is to help you grow your skills, grow your business, and grow your income. Today I'm going to talk about some of the biggest problems that our industry is facing and you're probably facing in the business, and the fact that they're not really problems at all. I'll explain in just a few minutes. So here are some of the big problems. If you Google construction industry problems, construction challenges, you'll find a list that includes the skilled labor shortage, low productivity, cash flow, lack of capital, schedule overruns, we're not delivering projects on time, quality problems, lack of growth, slow sales, companies are going bankrupt, the adversarial relationship between client, designer, and contractor, safety. And I'm here to tell you that those are not really problems. Those are symptoms of underlying problems. A few years ago, I had this excruciating pain in my left shoulder, and I couldn't move it. I couldn't raise it, didn't know what was going on. So I went to one doctor, and the pain was down in my arm, lower on my arm. It was not in my shoulder joint. And doctor number one said, well, it's obviously not in the joint because the pain is down here. You've got some sort of problem down here. So we tried that. That didn't do any good. Then I went to an orthopedic surgeon, had x-rays, explained my symptoms. The guy walked in the door, this orthopedic surgeon walked in the door, didn't touch me, didn't look at me, and said, Mr. DeWalt, you have idiopathic adhesive capsulitis. You have frozen shoulder. He could tell from the symptoms that my shoulder joint had frozen. Now, that's not where my pain was. My pain was somewhere else. So doctor number one was trying to treat the symptoms and not the problem. Doctor number two got to the root of the problem and got it fixed for me. So what we're going to talk about today, what you're going to learn today, is how to get past the symptoms and identify the root problem that is really causing your symptoms so you can fix it. We're going to talk about productivity, first of all. I'm going to take an example of productivity. We're going to chase some of these things to ground, and you'll learn a process that you can use to actually solve things, because you've got two options. If you're not satisfied with your crew's productivity or a subcontractor's productivity, you could walk out on the job site and just yell at them and say, you guys need to be more productive, or you're not productive enough. What good does that do? That's sort of like a basketball coach telling somebody who shoots 28% from the free throw line, telling them, you need to shoot free throws better, and then sitting back down. It's not helpful. Obviously, they need to shoot free throws better, but you're not helping them. So if you want to actually solve the symptoms, then you've got to get to the root cause. So let me show you a process that I used a few years ago to boost the productivity of a company that I was running, and I still use it today, and it works. So the issue we want to talk about is productivity. This is a symptom. If you have low productivity, it's a symptom. You can't just say, be more productive. So what you have to do is think about what are the reasons for the low productivity. Low productivity is a symptom. What is one of the root causes? So let's just follow this process. So follow along with me. One of the potential causes, actually one of the biggest causes of low productivity, according to a study done, I think, in 2012, is that there is a lack of material. Some guy did his PhD or his master's thesis on this and found that the number one productivity killer was the lack of material on the job site. So let's say the root cause, number one, of productivity is the material's not there. Well, let's look at why isn't the material there? What's causing the material to not be there? Number one, the material wasn't ordered on time. Number two, maybe the material was there, but it's damaged because it got double-handled. Number three, the material was delivered to the wrong place. It wasn't at the right part of the job site or in the right part of the building. Number four, the material's not there because somebody forgot to pick it up. They were supposed to pick it up yesterday, supposed to pick it up this morning on the way to the job site. It's not there. Reason number 4 is the material got lost. It was delivered, somebody had it in their hands at one point, and it got lost or maybe stolen, but it has magically grown legs and disappeared. So now, that's great. We figured out the underlying causes that lead to low productivity. So let's break them down and let's go even further. What are we going to do about these root causes? So first of all, materials not ordered on time. The solution to that is to develop a material procurement schedule. Don't stop with a submittal or shop drawing log, but create a material procurement schedule that lists the dates that material needs to be delivered, where it needs to be delivered to, what day it needs to be ordered, and then track that material until the time it actually shows up on the job site. That way you're in the driver's seat of getting your materials on time. Secondly, number 2, damaged material, either because of double handling or maybe somebody ran into it or whatever it was. The solution to that is to have a good plan of where that material is going to land before it gets to the job site. The worst time to figure out where to land material is when the truck's there and the truck driver's looking at you and saying, where do you want this stuff? That's not the time to decide. You're going to make that decision at some point. You might as well make the smart decision in advance. Number 3, materials delivered to the wrong place. It's landed at the wrong part of the job. That goes back to having a material delivery plan. Where will you lay down material? Where will the rebar be laid out? Where will structural steel be laid out? Where will the rooftop units be set off the truck so they don't have to be touched and they can be picked up with the crane when it shows up? Where's the roofing ballast going to drop? Where will the roofing insulation trucks pull up so the crane can get it up onto the roof? Where? Think about these things in advance. Have a plan. Similarly, number 4, somebody forgot to pick the material up. Well, that's just a breakdown. There needs to be a plan and better communication. Number 5, material gets lost. Maybe it's a UPS shipment, a FedEx shipment. Parts house drops stuff off and it gets lost. The best way to solve that is funnel all deliveries to one place. All deliveries go to one place, whether it's in your shop, at your job site trailer, whatever. One person signs for all deliveries. Tell everybody else in the job site, don't you dare sign for a delivery. And you train your delivery drivers to drop deliveries in one particular place. So there's 5 reasons that the material isn't there, and then 5 solutions for dealing with that problem and solving that problem. That's how you solve problems. You get all the way down to the lowest, most basic root cause, then you put a system or process in place to make that problem go away. Next, a bigger issue that leads to low productivity is the simple fact that the crew is not putting enough work into place every day. They're not getting enough work done. Again, this is a symptom. If you go out and just tell guys, you need to be more productive, you need to get more work in place, that's not going to help. You might as well be telling that lousy free throw shooter to hit more free throws. So let's talk about some of the root causes, the underlying problems that lead to low productivity. First of all, cell phone usage. That's a huge productivity killer. What can you do about cell phones and smartphones and Snapchat and Twitter and Facebook and all this other stuff that goes on job sites? Ban cell phones on the project. When was the last time you walked into a McDonald's and saw somebody using their phone behind the counter? They don't, because it's a rule, because it's a productivity killer. If they can do it at McDonald's, you can do the same thing. Have them store their phones, their personal phones in their tool bag, leave it in their truck. They can check it at break, whatever. In the past, I have banned personal cell phones and given out company flip phones that allowed voice and text during the day. That solved a lot of that problem. One of the second productivity killers, one of the root causes of low productivity, not getting enough work done by your crews, is they're spending too much time in meetings. Your revenue-producing people are spending way too much time in meetings, coordination meetings, safety meetings, in the trailer, and they're not getting work put in place. The solution there is identify your revenue producers and then make sure they're producing revenue as many hours a day as possible. Get everything else off their plate. I did a podcast episode on load shedding on this topic. You can go deeper on that. Just search for Construction Leading Edge, load shedding. It'll probably pop up. The next root cause of low productivity for people not getting enough work done is that they're spending too much time picking up materials. Foremen, lead guys, superintendents, everybody, they're jumping in the truck, heading to the supply house, heading to Home Depot, or they're spending an hour on the way to work, on the way to the job site at supply houses, picking up stuff, spending time on the way home, picking up stuff, and they're wasting revenue-producing time in supply houses and Home Depot. And if you want to find out how much that's actually costing you, it could cost you about $180 an hour to pay your guys to shop. And at the end of this podcast, I'll tell you where you can go to watch a video that digs into that a little bit more deeply. Gas stations. Guys spending time in gas stations in the morning a couple of times a week. They leave the shop. They're on the way to the job site. It's 7 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock, whatever. Well, I'll just give you an example. I was at a gas station on a Thursday morning at about 9 o'clock in Louisville, Kentucky a few weeks ago, and I counted 5 vans from one plumbing company at that time. There were 5 vans from the same company, and they were there for about 20 minutes, guys, fueling up their truck while they're on the clock, inside getting coffee, donuts, cigarettes, whatever. There were landscaping trucks. There were HVAC trucks. The bulk of this plumbing contractor's fleet were there at 9 o'clock in the morning for 15 or 20 minutes on the clock. That's a killer. What do you do to solve that? You got to fuel up trucks, right? Absolutely. A couple of solutions there. If you have a fleet of equipment or vehicles, then you can do one of 2 things. You can either pay somebody to come in after hours, early in the morning, or after the guys get off work. Pay that person to fuel the trucks. Find someone perhaps who is semi-retired, somebody you trust, have a good driving record, and pay them to go fuel the trucks up. That keeps your revenue producers on the job site out of the gas station. The other thing you can do is get bulk fuel tanks at your shop, at your yard. And most, at least in my area, fuel companies will give you a bulk fuel tank. And you can get fuel for the same or probably a little bit less cost than you would pay at the gas station. But the big savings is you're not getting hit with this labor cost of having your guys fueling up equipment while they're on the clock. And when they fuel up equipment, they get donuts, they get coffee, they get cigarettes, they take an extended bathroom break, all while on the clock. That is killing productivity because they're not on the job site doing work. The next reason guys aren't getting as much work done as they should is because they're spending time gathering up tools and materials in the morning and throwing it on the truck and taking off to the job site. Again, the solution to that is to hire someone. Maybe it's the same guy who's your runner. Hire a runner who is there after hours, early in the morning, stocking material, loading trucks. Another thing you can do that I strongly recommend is stock commonly used materials and consumable items, screws, blades, bits, tips, etc. Anything you use on a routine basis, stock that material at your office, at your shop. Make it available for your people to grab and go so they don't have to go and pick it up in a store. Another reason not enough work gets done is because guys are spending so much time driving back and forth to and from restaurants. At lunch, they're going to gas stations for lunch, for a break, etc. You may be money ahead to buy lunch for your crew every day. You will definitely be money ahead if you provide water and or Gatorade and snacks for your guys at the job site. Make it available at your shop or your office. Make it available so they can grab the stuff and go. Buy them lunch. You think about how much opportunity cost you're getting hit with because they're spending an extra 15 or 20 minutes a day. Maybe they're not even on the clock, but they're spending 15 to 20 minutes of revenue-producing time every day driving back and forth. And if they're using company vehicles, then they're spending your money on gas and putting your vehicle on the road so they can buy lunch. You may be money ahead to buy lunch for your people. Another big reason that not enough work gets done is because the guys in the field don't know what winning looks like. There are no revenue targets. There's no production targets. They don't know where the end zone is. You've essentially given them a football, and there's no lines on the field. There's no end zone. They don't know what they're supposed to do. Maybe you don't know what winning looks like, and you're doing all rear-view mirror analysis. So the answer to that is you figure out what they need to get done every day, every week, every month. Give them production targets and tell them you need to get this much work in place every day. You need to be at this point in the project by next week, or in 2 weeks we need to accomplish this. We need to be off this floor on this date. Establish goals, establish production targets, and you'll be amazed at how much that does all by itself. Another big reason not enough work gets done is just because of a lack of planning. People show up and say, well, we'll just figure it out when we get there. There's no excuse for that. You need to have a daily plan. What I recommend is that your lead person, whether they are a superintendent, foreman, a team lead, etc., whoever is leading that crew, that they take some time today, early in the afternoon today, to make a plan for tomorrow. And then they communicate that plan to somebody. Maybe that's you, maybe that's your project manager, whomever that may be. But they are publishing their plan saying, this is what we're going to do tomorrow. These are the tools we'll need. This is the equipment we'll need. This is the material we'll need. And they're publishing that, and that does a couple of things. One, it forces them to go through the exercise of planning their work for tomorrow. They will then verify that they have the material that they need, equipment, tools, manpower, etc. And if they have issues, if there's some sort of gap that needs to be filled in, they're going to let somebody know. And by publishing this plan, it also gives the people in the office the opportunity to review and comment on things. Maybe there was a change that came up. Maybe they're trending behind the production target, whatever it is. But there are ways you can set up a very simple daily plan app, essentially, on a mobile device that guys can fill out, and it gets automatically published to a certain list of people. And that in itself will solve a lot of problems. Just having a plan. Doesn't have to be a perfect plan, but a plan is better than no plan. Another reason guys don't get enough work done is because, frankly, they don't have the right tools, or they have bad tools. They're spending a lot of time keeping stuff propped up, repairing tools, repairing equipment, and you just need to upgrade your equipment. You need to get the right tools. Tools will always make money. They'll always pay for themselves. One more reason is that the trades in front of your crew are not done. The job is not ready. If you're a drywall contractor, the plumber's not done. He didn't get his inspection. The electrician's not done. HVAC guy's not done. The fire stop's not complete. So you show up assuming that everything's ready, only to find out that, well, this area's ready, this area's not. You have to stay away from this, and you get into this piecemeal situation. So the answer to that is, before you show up, before your crew hits the ground, somebody goes and scouts the land. They have a checklist with them, and they check off this list and verify that everything's done. a day or two, whatever the right amount of time is, before the crew gets there to verify, yes, this job is ready for us. Call it a pre-installation checklist, whatever you want to call it, but somebody needs to go check it out. Don't take the word of the general contractor, the superintendent, the whatever. They don't know your business like you do, and you can bring those issues up and say, hey, we're supposed to be here on Wednesday. Today's Monday. You got to get this stuff done, or we're going to have to postpone. And that will solve a lot of problems. Another reason that it may appear that not enough work is getting done is because there's just not a good reporting mechanism. In my experience, there's this Bermuda Triangle of information between the field and the office, and things get lost. Work's getting done in the field sometimes, but it's not getting reported to the office, and it gets lost in this Bermuda Triangle. So the solution may be, the underlying problem may be that the information is just getting lost. It's not getting transferred properly. And the answer, the solution to that problem is develop some sort of system for reporting completed work. Depends on what you're doing. But if that's the issue, you need to have a good system for reporting completed work. Lastly, one reason that not enough work gets done is because the guys in the field are waiting for your instructions, or they're waiting for somebody else to tell them what to do. They don't have the authority, or don't feel like they have the authority to make decisions. So when an issue comes up, everything comes to a grinding halt. They get on the phone. They're trying to call you. You're in a meeting, and everything comes to a grinding halt because they're waiting to get the green light from the boss. The answer to that is to empower your people to make decisions. Train your people, teach them what decisions they can make. There's this five levels of delegation that I talk about in another video. You can probably find that. Just Google construction leading edge delegation. You'll probably find that video. And you need to, the issue there is that your people, you have too many people at low levels of delegation, and the solution is you need to move your people up that delegation spectrum so that they are empowered to solve problems on their own. So there you go. There are 15 or so root causes that lead to low productivity, and that's how you solve problems. You don't tell people to get more productive. You don't just tell them they're not getting enough work done. You identify what the root cause is. You ask them, ask your people, hey, what is holding you up? What is causing you problems? Where's the bottleneck? Where's the hang up? And then you address that bottleneck or that hang up. That's how problems get solved. You eliminate chaos and bottlenecks and hang ups with systems and processes and plans. And that, my friends, is how you make your crew more productive. You can do the same thing with any problem. Use this process. Start off with the symptom, in this case, low productivity. Look at the causes, and then look at the causes below that, and go all the way down until you ask the question, well, what's causing that? And you can't come up with another answer. And when you can't say, if there's not an answer to the question of what's causing that, that's where you need to focus your effort. So you can do this with every other symptom: skilled labor shortage, cash flow issues if you want. And speaking of cash flow, I've got a video series called The Secrets of Successful Contractors that I just released. If you're on my email list, then you're going to receive this in short order. If you're not part of the Construction Leading Edge Nation, if you don't get emails from me, then you want to get your hands on this, because here's what you're going to get in this free video series. You're going to learn about this one hidden cost that causes a lot of contractors to bleed cash, and it's killing their bottom line, but they don't even know it. There's also this new a revolutionary new way of thinking and planning that's going to help you drive revenue, deliver projects on time, and ultimately grow your business. You're also going to learn what most of the big contractors do to succeed that very few small to medium-sized businesses are doing. And as I talked about in this podcast, we'll go deeper on why some of the biggest problems you're facing may not be problems at all. They're actually symptoms. And if you are struggling with cash flow, then you're going to learn about the underlying problems that are causing your cash flow issues, and you're going to pick up some strategies to solve those issues that, frankly, might be so obvious that you're going to kick yourself for not doing them already. So if you want to get your hands on that free video series, go to constructionleadingedge.com/owner, OWNER. The other thing, if you own a construction business, all right, and you want to increase revenue, say 25 to 50%, if you want to eradicate the chaos in your business, you want to get to the next level, you want it to be more profitable, you want to have more time to be strategic, then, and if you want to turn it into a well-oiled, profitable machine, then I've got something for you. I want to get on the phone with you for a free business breakthrough coaching session, and we're going to do a few things. We're going to create a crystal clear vision for what success looks like for your business. What do you want for your business? We're going to talk about some of the things that may have been rattling around in your head, but you've never really said it out loud. We're going to go through that process to help you crystallize what that vision is. We're going to uncover some hidden challenges that may be sabotaging your growth and keeping you from the success that you want. And when we're done, you're going to leave the session renewed, re-energized, and focused, and maybe even inspired to take some action on some things, and you're going to feel better about the situation. You'll have more focus and clarity. So if you want to take advantage of this offer and get on the phone with me for a free 30-minute business breakthrough coaching call, all you got to do is go to constructionleadingedge.com/call. That's constructionleadingedge.com/call. CALL. As always, I always appreciate iTunes reviews. So if you are an iTunes podcast listener, if you could take a few minutes, leave a review, a rating for the podcast, that helps get the word out. Go check out that free video series with the secret strategies of successful contractors at constructionleadingedge.com/owner. And if you want to get on the phone with me, you can do that. You can schedule your call at constructionleadingedge.com/call. Thanks, and I will talk to you next time.